This is Brad Clayton with PuzzleDuck Golf for the October thought of the month. Once again, back out at 12 Oaks. Want to thank Chad again. Chad Coopman's been a great friend to me to let me come out and do these, teach here actually, and do some of these videos. We want to talk about as you get into the fall and especially into winter time. I don't know how many of you have trouble with your chipping in the winter. Most people are going to get a little bit more sketchy with their chipping in the winter because the lies get tighter. You're not going to have as much fluff under the ball. So when you've got good soft grass like this, you can get the golf club to slide under the ball a little easier, so you got a little more room for error. As the grass starts to thin in the wintertime and it gets a little more soggy and a little softer, we're going to have a tendency to dig too far, and then you'll get a little timid and tend to pull up. So you hit some thin ones, you hit some fat ones, and you get some inconsistencies, and your confidence level drops. Well, let's try something to help you get a little bit more of a sweeping stroke through the ball. Not really a sweep, but it's not such a digging stroke. And what we're going to try to think of, or what we're going to talk about, is using the back end of the golf club, not necessarily the front end of the golf club. If you tend to strike down or you lean the shaft forward trying to hit down on the ball, you're going to turn this club into a shovel. You can see the front edge of this club is much lower than the back edge of the club. If it sits naturally like it's supposed to, the back edge of the club is either going to be level, or the more bounce you have with your gap wedges and your sand wedges, and sometimes your lob wedge, not so much with the lob as it with the gap, but you'll see that the back of the golf club is lower than the front edge, and that's to help it slide along the ground. So if we put the club and turn it down and de-loft it, trying to hit it lower or trying to hit down and hit the ball first, you're going to tend to dig down in the ground. You can see how that jarred and stopped. What we want to do is actually use the back of the golf club. What I mean by the back of the club is the back of the flange there, and let the club lay nice and natural with the natural loft of the club so that it can skip along the ground. So I'll swing back and skip it along the ground. You'll see it's not doing any digging. If I put the club and lean it forward and try to de-loft it, it'll tend to dig, especially when you get those really tight and thin lies in the wintertime. So as you set up for these shots, let the club sit nice and natural with the face square, and use the back of the golf club back and through. So swing back, push through. The thing I like to talk about on pitches and in any golf shot really is when we, other than putting, is that when we swing back, the swing will go back with your arms and shoulders. Your weight will stay pretty neutral at this point until you swing long enough to require a weight shift, but around the greens you don't need much of that. So we're going to swing back, and then what moves the club through, once again, is not just your arms and shoulders, but your back leg. So swing back, push through, and hold that finish position. So just try to use the back of the club a little bit more than the front edge of the club when you have a decent lie, but it's a tight lie with thin grass and it's wet. So let's see if we can hit one of these. Nice and easy. I'm going to use the back of the club, swing back. Use my right hip to move the club through, and use the back of the golf club. We're not trying to dig the ball, we're trying to swing right along the ground. So 1, 2, and hold that finish position. Thanks again for watching. Really enjoy the feedback. Try to get some feedback for this, that'd be great. Anyone has any suggestions for next month's talk or thought of the month, please feel free to contact me at PuzzleDuckGolf@gmail.com. PuzzleDuckGolf@gmail.com. Thanks again and have a great day.